Hello YouTubers, how y'all doing today? This is Jallo Adams coming from the 215. So this basically is a video about, why I joined Taskrabbit. I wanted to give y'all a little story of why exactly I decided to join. So what happened was I was at maybe like two months ago. I was at this job. Daycare. I was there for about 5 years altogether. I happened to get the job because at the time I didn't have a job. I came from the culinary field, and at the time, it was hard to get a job. I really wasn't too good at writing resumes or anything of that nature. I was finding a lot of difficulty, trying to find a job, and it was hard. Things are so competitive these days. People have to have certain skills to be able to get the job that they want. They gotta have social skills. They have to have resume creating skills, things of that sort. So, needless to say, I didn't really have any of that stuff because I stayed out of work for a while. After 8 months out of work, I was a really awkward guy, man. Not being around people for so long, you just kind of stay to yourself. But anyway, I decided that I really was tired of staying in the house for such a long time. And so my family members, one of them owned the daycare, and she asked if I was interested in getting a job. So I said, yeah, sure, why not? And so, long story short, I stayed there for about 5 years. Don't get me wrong, I appreciate what my family did for me. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have had a job. And who knows how long I wouldn't have had a job. But it was good for the time being, but it wasn't what I wanted to do. After all, working with kids wasn't in my skill set. For everybody that knows me, I'm a pretty vulgar guy, so you gotta curb a lot of the stuff that you say when you're dealing with kids, because you don't want to be a bad influence or anything of that nature. But so I was the type that, cursed a lot, said all types of stuff that I probably wasn't supposed to say. So I had to second guess on the things that I said around there and around the kids. And so that was rough. I didn't really care for that part, censoring myself. Just made me even more awkward. But I was there, and they had me do 100 different things at the job. I was doing bus runs, taking the kids to school. I was cooking for the kids. I was taking care of the kids, taking out the trash, doing little odd jobs here and there at this place. And the thing was, since it was family, I didn't really care too much. It wasn't that big of a deal. But in hindsight, I just thought about it, and I'm just I'm really doing all these different types of jobs for the same rate of money. I made $12.50, which is not bad. It's okay, but then again, after taxes, I only made $75 a day. I would usually make maybe $100 a day, but after tax, like I said, 75. So it wasn't much at all. So I was basically busting my ass, doing this job for $75 a day, and I got tired of it. I just didn't want to do it. And and also, not to mention, the work environment wasn't always the best. Like I said, it was family oriented, but it was just not for me. So my brother, man, maybe 3 or 4 months prior to that. Actually, it was at the start of the year. My brother started Taskrabbit, and he quit his job at the very start of the year, talking to me like, saying like, I'm sick of my job, I can't do this anymore, it's too depressing, I want to do my own thing. And I said, well, good luck to you, man, I hope everything works out. And I didn't really think nothing much of Taskrabbit, because I'm thinking, oh, like, I'm sure everyone has thought this, like, oh, like, well, how is this thing going to get me the money that I need to pay for all the stuff that I need to pay for, whether it be student loans or grocery bills or kids or anything of that nature. And so I finally got fed up with my job, and I actually said, you know what, I'm tired, let me see how this works out. So excuse me, I kept my job, and I did Taskrabbit during the weekends. My first job, like I told everybody in my first video, make sure to check that first video out. My first job was a cleaning job, and when I made that much money in about 6 hours, I was like, this is a lot of freaking money. Like, I was amazed at how much money I made. It was way more than what I would have made, like, working at my other job. And of course, doing Taskrabbit, I just want to let y'all know this. You have to, if you make a certain amount, you have to report your taxes. So, but either way, even though I still had to report my taxes, considering how much money I made, I still made way more money after taxes than what I would have made at my previous job. So I was just like, you know what? I'm about to be all in this job. Like, one day I just got really fed up with the job. I said, I'm not doing this anymore. I just don't want to do it. So I decided to put my 2 weeks in. I stayed longer than that because, since it was family, I decided to stay a little longer because they needed me at least until the end of the school year. So I did, and when I did that, I just started like going head on with Taskrabbit, making like money, like making like all this money every day, and it was over $100 every day, and it was great. I was doing Uber and Lyft too at the same time. However, if I calculate how much money I made from Taskrabbit, I made $1,000 from Taskrabbit alone. From Uber and Lyft, I might have made like maybe 200 or something. So maybe less, but it definitely was nothing, compared to what I made from TaskRabbit. So after doing that, I realized this is what I wanted to do full time, and I just wanted to try it out, see how it went. So that worked out well for me. So, but right now at the moment, I actually had a job offer from another place, so I ended up taking that, and I'm still making good money right now. So I do TaskRabbit like part time on the side, like during weekends. But I will say this: if you did want to do it full time, it's very possible, because I did it. My brother does it on a weekly basis. He's been working TaskRabbit since the start of the year, January. Today is July, I think it's like July 25th. So he's been doing it since January, and he's been consistently making like the money that he needs to make sure he pays all his bills. So he's doing that full time. So he's doing great right now. But of course, like any other job, you have to consider everything that you may need. For some people, it may work for them. Some people, it may not work for you. It depends. Like, of course, you gotta consider medical benefits, like taxes, all that stuff. So if this is what you want to do, like I said, you gotta hustle to make sure that you make that money, and you can make that certain amount at the end of the month. In my case, I had to make to pay all my bills, I had to make like I think a little over $1,700, which was pretty easy. I already made $1,000 in 1 week. All I had to do was make 700 next week, and then I was good. I made all my money for my bills, and then the rest of those next couple of weeks, I could have used that time to just make residual income and make extra money for whatever I needed it for. Everybody's expenses are different. So if you want to do this, you know, you got to make sure like this is what you want to do, and you got to put in time into it. So I'm about to go to work soon, so I just wanted to make this video real quick just to tell y'all why I did it, and like kind of give some insight, you know, like maybe have people who have been in my situation like kind of listen to my story and then maybe reflect on theirs. And of course, as usual, if you like all the content that I put out, please subscribe, and make sure you comment below and tell me exactly what your situations are in work. Tell me if Taskrabbit is the right fit for you. Tell me if you have any questions about Taskrabbit. I'm more than willing to answer them. Please do. Like, I want to be able to put more content and more videos out. So, and also, anybody, please, it would help me a lot if you could subscribe to this channel. I would really appreciate it. So I'm just letting y'all know. So if I get a certain amount of subscribers, then I'll start putting out some prizes that people can win. So I'll let y'all know in advance about that. But thanks a lot for y'all time. I appreciate it. And as usual, happy tasking. I'll see you next time.